Subscribe to Husbandry before we begin, because what you're about to hear challenges one of the most exhausting assumptions in farming history, that mulch must always be hauled, spread, and replaced by hand. Ancient grain ground covers solved this problem thousands of years ago, and once you understand how they work, the idea of constant mulching starts to feel like unnecessary labour imposed by modern habits rather than biological reality. In response, ancient grain cultures selected plants that shaded soil early, dropped biomass naturally, and rebuilt fertility where they grew. These were not cover crops added after harvest. They were food crops that doubled as living mulch. Their stems bent, lodged, shattered and regrew in ways that modern uniform grains were bred out of. What we gained in mechanization, we lost in self-sufficiency. Self-mulching grains grow densely enough to shade the soil surface within weeks. Their lower leaves senesce naturally, drying and falling in place. As heads mature, stems weaken and bend, laying biomass across the ground instead of standing rigid until harvest. This creates a layered ground cover that suppresses weeds, buffers soil temperature, and slows evaporation. Roots die back gradually rather than all at once, feeding soil organisms continuously. The soil is never exposed, and no separate mulching step is required. Modern wheat, corn and rice were bred to stand upright for mechanical harvest. Lodging became a flaw rather than a feature. Short straw, stiff stems and synchronized maturity replaced diversity and ground coverage. Ancient grains evolved under different pressures. Emmer einkorn, spelt, millet, teff and certain heritage barleys tolerated lodging because it benefited soil and seed survival. Some even relied on partial collapse to reseed themselves. These traits persisted because they reduced labour, not because they increased yield on paper. Einkorn and emmer wheat are among the oldest cultivated grains. They grow tall, leaf out early, and shed lower foliage as the canopy closes. By mid-season, the soil beneath them is dark, cool, and protected. After harvest, the remaining straw naturally mats down. Historically, farmers cut heads high and left stems in place. The field entered the next season already mulched. Even today, small plots planted with einkorn show dramatically reduced weed pressure without added material. Millet and sorghum were staples across Africa and Asia precisely because they protected soil under harsh conditions. Their dense planting habit and fibrous root systems hold soil together, while fallen leaves create a dry, insulating mulch. In practical terms, this means a garden bed planted to millet for grain can be undersown or followed by vegetables without soil preparation. The mulch is already there. Moisture stays longer and germination improves. Teff, one of the smallest grains ever cultivated, behaves more like a mat than a crop. Its fine stems and shallow roots form a living carpet that shades soil completely. When cut, residue remains evenly distributed rather than clumped. This made teff invaluable in ancient Ethiopian systems where soil erosion was deadly. Today, teff works as a self-mulching grain in gardens, orchard alleys and rotation beds where bare soil would otherwise be exposed. In food forests and orchards, grain ground covers can be rotated through alleys. Their self-generated mulch suppresses weeds without disturbing tree roots. Self-mulching grains reduce dependence on external materials. No trucks, no bales, no plastic. In survival contexts, this is critical.